The grind gets lonely. When you start working towards becoming the best version of yourself, it is going to be lonely. So when you first decide that you want better for yourself, you are going to be doing something that a solid 95% of people don't do. Because when you are working towards something, right, you have a vision in your head. And that vision is there for a reason. So then you start acting on that. Whether it's working towards building a business, financial freedom, going to the gym, people won't understand why you are doing what you are doing. And that may mean staying up till 2, 3 a.m. And then people are like, why do you stay up till 2, 3 a.m. working on something that might not work? It's like people don't get it. So when you are chasing purpose in life, people are not going to understand you. And for me, for a long while, it's kind of like, I used to get annoyed because people didn't understand. I used to think, why is it that now that I'm working on myself, why is it that people now have a problem with that when before I wasn't working on myself, I was a nobody and no one had any opinions? The funny thing is, when I was a nobody and had nothing going for me in life, everybody didn't have an opinion. And as soon as I decided to start working towards bettering my life, people start to have these opinions like, be realistic. But once if it doesn't work out, it's like, damn. So now I'm trying to become somebody. All of a sudden, people have opinions. When in before, when I was a nobody, they didn't have any opinions. They didn't really care. So it's a crazy concept. So you've just got to understand that if people don't get your vision, and don't get mad, just understand that the work that you are putting in, you are putting that work in for a reason. So don't be annoyed if no one understands you, because the grind gets lonely. This is why a lot of people don't do it, because they can't go through a period of time where you have to be putting in the work on your own, going to the gym, putting in the work, starting that business. Like, it does get very lonely. So this is why a lot of people can't do it, because they can't. You have to sacrifice, let's say, fun. But yeah, I would say fun in terms of when you are working towards your business, going to the gym, eating clean, but then your friends, they're going out drinking and stuff. And it's kind of like you have to sacrifice. But anyway, what this is leading on to is that you have to understand that the grind does get lonely when you are working towards becoming the best version of yourself, because no one understands why you're doing what you're doing, but they don't need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. But then for me, that also comes with peace. And this is what I'm then going to go onto in a minute. But just to finish that current phase of the video, the grind gets lonely, but understand that it is only a temporary period of time where it is lonely. And what I mean by temporary is it could be the first 1 or 2 years, it's very lonely when you are grinding and you are working towards your goals. But then when you are getting closer to becoming the best version of yourself, you then operate differently to how you used to be. So then you attract like-minded people. So let's say, for example, there was a point in my life where it was lonely. And yes, I have my brother who's on the journey with me, but we're basically the same. But in terms of having friends, going out drinking, or just whatever it is, it was a lonely grind, right? But then now, say for example, I perform on a certain frequency that I attract like-minded people. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm still grinding right now, and I am going to my local cafe, and I'm going to jump on a call with someone who does content. But this is some guy I've been speaking to for a while. And we're on the same path. We've got the same sort of vision. And I'm just going to the cafe. We're going to jump on a call, and we're just going to talk about just what we're working on. And we've got a couple of things that we are working on and just sharing ideas and sharing our insights into a couple of things. So for a while, for a year, 2 year, I wasn't speaking to any like-minded people. Yes, I had my brother, but I wasn't speaking to any like-minded people. But now I am, because it's been a while, like 3 years. So now I'm at that frequency where I am talking to like-minded people. I did mention peace, and this leads me on to the other subject of this video. Let's say a part 2 within this whole video, is that I've been recording my gym sessions, right? Every single day. Because with the long form YouTube, I'm documenting my everyday life. And currently what I do right now is I'm just working towards my business, working on the content, and I'm smashing the gym. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to record the gym. So I've been recording that every day. But the main point is that I was going to record my back and bicep session today. But then I thought, you know what, let me just enjoy this gym session. I'm not going to record it. I'm hardly going to use my phone. Obviously, I'm tracking my workout. But I thought, let me just actually enjoy this gym session. And the reason I've done that is because I'd just like to keep it real with the YouTube. So the reason I've done that is because for the past week, I would say what I've been doing. So this leads on to gratitude and being present. So I do have times in the day where I am present in the present moment. And I say every morning what I'm thankful for, what I'm grateful for. But this leads on to the subject of, for the past week, what I've done is I've woke up, had my electrolytes, and then I've jumped in the shower, and then I've made my morning coffee, right? And I have black coffee in the morning because of course I do. And then, yeah, so I have the black coffee, and then I sit down at my desk, and then I check my Instagram, check any comments, go over the TikTok, go over the YouTube. And then something made me realize yesterday, like I had like a little strain here. And I researched it, and it basically said spending too much time on the phone. I sat there and I thought, damn, don't get me wrong, when I'm on my phone, it's mainly because I'm editing content, right? So I'm fully locked into editing content, I'm editing videos, and I keep it real. I do spend a lot of time on my phone, but it is the sole purpose of being productive. So to get to the main point is that today I thought, you know what, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have my electrolytes, and then I'm going to get a shower. And then with my black coffee, I stood outside for 5 minutes, let the sun hit my face. Then I went into the office, I opened up the book that I'm reading. I read for 10 to 15 minutes. And then what I did is I wrote down in a notebook my thoughts whilst reading. And then I picked up the book and read for another 2 minutes, and I felt so much better. But you've got to understand that if you go on your phone straight away when you have woke up, it can change your whole thought process. Because let's say, for example, you wake up in the morning, and I mean straight away, you open your eyes and you pick your phone up off the bedside table and you see something negative. Instantly, you wake up and you've seen something negative, so then that changes your whole thought process. So then straight away off the backbone, you've woke up and you've took in negative information. Let's just be real. What is that going to do for you? So that then changes your whole thought process. And then you might wake up a bit it wouldn't say it wrecks your whole mood, but you've got to understand, if you wake up and that's the first thing that you take in, then it's going to mess your whole thought process. But even when you wake up straight away, I never go on my phone straight away in the morning, but a lot of people, they do wake up and bang, they're on the phone checking stuff. It's like, you need to just wake up, you know? So for me, obviously, I don't jump on my phone until that black coffee, but I thought, do you know what? I spend a lot of time on my phone editing, doing whatever I'm doing, and I thought, I am going to find a way where I'm still fully locked into my content, but I spend less time on the phone. Because yes, I preach gratitude and I be at one with myself, but I thought, you know what, instead of sitting there this morning looking at my phone with my coffee, let me just extend it half an hour to 40 minutes and go outside and let the sun hit my face. And then let me read, let me get some knowledge into my brain, let me get my brain working. And then let me go on my phone and check messages, check comments, see what's popping. So in the morning, in the morning, don't go on your phone straight away, because that could change your whole thought process for that day. So life is about improving. So you need to acknowledge where you need to put in more work. And don't get me wrong, let's go back to the phones. We live in an era where technology is massive. But if you can learn to use technology to your advantage so it can benefit you, but then be like, right, okay, let me be a savage, let me put in the work, but then at the same time, know when to put the phone down. So obviously I've acknowledged that, okay, in the morning, even before I pick up my phone, I do say what I'm grateful for, but a major part of me, just with my black coffee, I'll check my phone, but instead, with my black coffee, let me read. So it's about acknowledging where you need to improve. Because this journey, life, you need to be working towards becoming your best self, but then knowing where to improve on, in what areas, so then you can keep improving over time. So overall, the grind gets lonely, but there's a reason to why you have to go through that period of isolation to understand why you are truly on this journey and whatever it is you are chasing. I feel like we get tested with being lonely, tested with failures and setbacks to make us realize how bad do we really want it. Like, can we achieve a goal even though there's going to be times of isolation, failures, or even setbacks? We are being tested to say, right, you have got this goal. Do you actually want this? Like, how bad do you want it? So then the grind does get lonely, but it only gets lonely because you are doing something that a lot of people don't understand why you're doing. Like, even the simplest thing, like going to the gym. People are like, God, you're always in the gym. It's like, yeah, because I'm trying to become the best version of myself. So understand that the grind gets lonely, but it's only like that for a period of time, up until you become the best version of yourself and you operate on a different frequency, and you don't operate how you used to operate, and then your circle starts to level up, you start to level up, you start to get around other savages. So understand, when you are chasing your purpose, it does get lonely, but it is happening for a reason. And like I say, be a savage, work towards that business, post the content, but at the same time, know when to put the phone down and be at one. If you find any value in this video, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. And as always, remember to stay locked in. You got this. Let's get it. I'll see you in the next one.